I've been pondering a question that echoes through time. Who am I? Beyond the body, beyond the mind, there's a pure awareness waiting to be discovered. Saints and sages have pointed us to this truth, urging us to dive deeper. Ramana Maharshi said to keep asking, who am I? Until the mind fades into silence. This is the journey of self-realization, a path to uncover the essence of our being. In this satsang, we explore this eternal question, awakening the seeker within you.
This satsang is about the observation of I am and the inquiry into it. If we put it in summary, then, who am I? This is the greatest question of spiritual science. If you understand in life, who am I, then you will fully realize what the purpose of your life is, and you will understand yourself and become self-realized. As I mentioned in the previous satsang, when Abhimanyu was in his mother's womb, he understood the formation of the Chakravyuh, battle formation. Because his soul was so developed, what was explained to his mother from outside, Abhimanyu completely grasped. In the same way, Ashtavakra too, whatever was happening outside the mother's womb, had full awareness of it. The reason was that his consciousness was highly developed. While being in the womb, when his father recited the Vedas outside, he could hear them, and his meditation was disturbed. That is why he said that the Lord cannot be attained in this way. The parrot-like repetition that you do, God is not attained in that way. This was the outcome of the development of his consciousness. So, what we have to understand is, what is consciousness? When he was born from the womb, he was already in a state of complete awareness. He had no need for any yogic practice. He was already established in complete knowledge. Now, understand this in another way. If you look at a flower, the color of the flower affects you, the form and shape of the flower affect you, you can see everything. But what affects you the most is the fragrance of the flower. You can sense it, but you cannot touch it, you cannot see it. That fragrance itself is the form of the soul. The fragrance is in the flower, but you cannot see it, you can only experience it. In the same way, within every being, within every human, resides that supreme being, that soul. You cannot see it, but only through the path of spiritual practice can you experience it. If in your life you have experienced that, then you will come to know, who am I? We often say, I am the soul, but until the soul is directly realized, it remains only a bondage of words. Just as you experience the fragrance in a flower, where exactly is the fragrance in the flower? As long as the flower is attached to the plant, its fragrance spreads far and wide. If you pluck the flower, the fragrance lasts for a while and then disappears. Even if you crush the flower, a little fragrance remains, but with time, it also fades away. Now this fragrance, where does it reside in the petals of the flower? If you go into its depth, you will find that the petals of the flower have very fine, subtle pores. They are so extremely minute that you cannot see them with your eyes. And it is in those pores that the soul of the flower resides. That is its fragrance. In that emptiness resides the soul of the flower. And in that very emptiness, the flow of the flower's consciousness exists, and that is what brings you its fragrance. In the same way, take milk for example, the same milk that we drink, that turns into curd, and from which we also consume ghee. By looking at milk, you may not perceive ghee directly, but ghee is already contained within it. Only, you don't experience it yet. From milk, you set curd, from curd you churn out butter, and by heating butter, ghee reveals itself before you. Milk cannot be kept for more than a day, but the essence that emerges as ghee can be preserved for months. In the same way, within us resides the soul, whose eternal span cannot be observed. Even though ghee can last for months, the soul, which is its counterpart within us, is timeless. The soul resides in every substance, in every element, in every being. It may manifest in different forms. If milk is pure, you enjoy drinking it. Why? Because the essence of milk, its cream or the ghee that comes from it, is nourishing. Its soul has developed. But if water is mixed into milk, or if the quality of milk is poor, then you will not experience any development of its soul. Similarly, when you eat food, you fill your stomach. But if you chew each morsel thoroughly, until every particle of food merges with the saliva in your mouth, then you realize how much sweetness, how much essence is contained in the soul of that food. Food too has a soul, that is why it gives you joy. Now, consider wood. When you burn it, fire emerges. That fire rises into the cosmos, that is its soul. What remains is ash, the dead body of the wood, which merges back into the earth. In your home, you have seen a bulb. When an electric current flows through it, light is produced. But you cannot see the current with your eyes. That flow of electricity itself is the form of the soul. It enters the bulb and gives light. In the same way, the soul resides within us. Its light is what shines through us. It is because of this that we act, speak, see, and experience everything. You cannot see that current directly. You only feel it when it gives light, or if you touch it and receive a shock. In the same way, the soul within you can only be experienced indirectly. When this awareness expands, your evolution takes place. You begin to know the future. You develop intuition. All this is the blossoming of the soul. Take a piece of iron and a magnet. Both look like iron, but the magnet contains a light of attraction. It can draw other pieces of iron toward itself. Ordinary iron cannot. You may be surprised to know that if you magnetize 1 kilo of iron, it can attract and lift at least 10 kilos of iron. Similarly, if your soul develops magnetism, then like the iron that became a magnet, your soul too will radiate such attraction that people all around you will naturally be drawn toward you. Wherever Mahatma Buddha sat, thousands of people, 5 to 10,000, would gather around him, as if even their breath was tied to him. His magnetic presence was so powerful that people sat in deep stillness near him. Such was the immense magnetic influence of Buddha. In our body too, the soul exists as magnetism. And when the soul leaves the body, that magnetism disappears, and we become incapable of any action. This soul within us, this is who we are. When the soul develops, one can even withdraw it from the body. Then, no suffering touches you. As I narrated before, when Alexander wished to take a yogi with him and even threatened to kill him, the yogi calmly said, "I will not go with you. Even if you kill me, I will still watch my own head, and I will see my own body, and so will you. You will see where my head lies and where my body lies." Such was the greatness of that yogi. He had the ability to withdraw his soul and witness his own self outside the body. Similarly, as I mentioned about Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, he too could withdraw his soul from his body, and even when his head was severed, no fear touched him. The soul within us is the witness. The ray of witnessing is the seer within. The witness is inside, and with the seer, in subtle form, the I can travel anywhere. The journey of the I can extend into the skies, even across the cosmos, because along with the seer flows the ray of the soul, the light of the soul. And with the light of the soul, the I can journey anywhere. When you look at any scene, it is the seer who sees it. The witness experiences it. When the witness, the seer, and the scene, all three dissolve into one, when they merge completely, then that is the highest state. In that state, the witness becomes one with the seer, and the scene is fully experienced from within and without. When this state is attained, it is called the great evolution of intelligence, and this itself is the supreme state of self-realization. In life, we must strengthen only the power of our soul. Just as a child in the mother's womb does not breathe, in the same way, when you wish to increase the power of the soul in this world, you must slow down the rhythm of your breath. The breath slows down when you deeply chant a mantra, when you merge with the mantra, when you dissolve into it completely. Then your breathing becomes gentler. Even if you simply concentrate on your breath, the rhythm will naturally slow down. This brings the development of consciousness. The speed of thoughts in the mind also decreases. The rush of emotions lessens. Gradually, you come closer and closer to your soul. The state of meditation itself is that great state. When your breath is almost non-existent, when no thoughts arise in the mind, the mind becomes empty. And then the realization dawns, who am I? I am the soul. This cannot be shown outwardly. It is something you will experience only within yourself. If you make the mind empty, the soul naturally evolves. The mind can be emptied through meditation, through mantra chanting, through breath practices. Even through dance, you can separate your mind from yourself. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. This is what Meera did. When the mind separates from you, even the breath ceases. Then the experience that arises is only the experience of the soul. Ramana Maharshi, in the clearest words, has said, ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? If you continue asking yourself this question, a time will come when the mind will dissolve completely in the very act of asking. The mind will cease to exist. And when the mind is no longer there, the question itself also disappears. When this question itself dissolves into emptiness, after however many years of asking, no one can say how long, that is when it becomes clear before you who you truly are. You realize that you are the soul, the void-like consciousness. Therefore, bring this practice into your life. Ask this question, who am I? Chant the mantra, drown in it until you become one with it. Whatever your tendencies may be, through them you can reach God. Socrates also made a great experiment upon this question of, who am I? He declared, I am the soul. When he was sentenced to drink poison, all his disciples were devastated, crying that their guru was leaving them. They pleaded with the poison grinder to delay so they could remain with their master for longer. But Socrates himself went to the poison grinder and said, Brother, hurry up. I want to drink the poison quickly and see what happens inside me, whether the poison has any effect on the soul within me. Finally, the cup of poison was brought. In front of all, Socrates drank it and calmly said, I am fully conscious. I am in complete awareness. After a while, he said, I can no longer feel my legs. They are dying, but I remain aware. Then he said, I no longer feel my thighs, but I am still in awareness, still speaking with you. After some more time, he said, my arms are no longer lifting, the poison has affected them too. Now I no longer feel my stomach and chest, but I remain conscious. As the final stage came, he said, even now, I am still conscious. There is something within me that is not dying. At the very end, he said, when my speech ceases, then know that my awareness is dissolving into silence. A little later, even when his speech faltered, he softly whispered, I am still aware. Within me resides that almighty soul. Then his face became utterly serene. Thus he demonstrated before everyone, I am not my arms, I am not my thighs, I am not my stomach, I am not my hands. I am that pure awareness which, even after drinking poison, is the last to leave the body. Such a profound experiment had never before been made by anyone. What Socrates showed to the whole world is that within every person there exists a luminous consciousness. And you can experience this only when you enter deep meditation. In that depth, you lose awareness of the body. You become thoughtless. In that emptiness, perfect silence and peace arise. And what you experience in that silence, that is you. That is your soul. In meditation, you may experience this as an ahatnad, the unstruck cosmic sound, or you may feel as if a current of divine energy is flowing within you. It becomes crystal clear. If you enter such a state, you realize who you are the soul within, you are the void. And when the body perishes, only then does the soul leave the body, because its dwelling there has ended. When you develop your soul, the inner seer within you draws light from the witness and spreads that light in all directions. In that state, you can do anything. Once there was an archer who came to a great master, hoping to learn something new about archery. But the master had no bow, no arrows. The disciple asked, "What can I learn from you? You don't even have a bow or arrows." The master replied, "Stay with me for some time. You will understand by yourself." Whenever the disciple shot a bird with his arrow, the master would simply look at the bird with his eyes, and it would fall to the ground. The disciple was astonished. The master said, "This art you must learn yourself, by staying with me." The disciple stayed on, though he could not grasp this skill. After 3 or 4 years, when it was time to take leave, he bowed before the master. In front of them was a tree with a ripe mango. The disciple gazed at the mango with intent, and with just a thought, the mango dropped instantly. Then he looked at a bird, and merely through his resolve, the bird too fell to the ground. The master explained, "This is the great state of consciousness. You take a ray of light from the witness within, and send it forth through the seer to the bird, and it works like an arrow. That is why the bird falls. You have now learned this art. You have become a true archer of life. This is the supreme state of the seer or the witness. And you can attain it only through observation and inner research. This is the state of knowing yourself, that I am. Because it was through your own resolve that you could bring down the bird, and this shows the power of the soul's light. There is also a great parable from Jesus Christ. There was once a wise man who had 2 sons. One son worked very hard and accumulated much wealth. The other squandered wealth in enjoyment. The 2 brothers could not live together. So, the father divided his property between them. One son multiplied his wealth greatly, but the other took his share and went to the city, where he gradually wasted everything. When his wealth was nearly gone, hunger struck him, and he remembered his father. With nothing left, he returned home. His father welcomed him with great love, embraced him, and kept him close. The elder brother was displeased at this. But the father explained, "This son has gone down to the lowest state of life. And when a person reaches the lowest, it takes no time for him to rise to greatness. For just as the roots of a tree go deeper, the tree itself rises higher." But the elder brother could not understand. Soon he saw that this younger one had completely changed, working tirelessly, endlessly. What had taken the elder years to accumulate, the younger gathered in just a few months. The purpose of this story of Jesus Christ is that, even when you fall to the lowest point in life, if even a spark of divine light still remains within you, then because you have already touched the depths, you will not fall further, you can only rise higher. And that soul indeed rises upward. Jesus explained this again in another way. Suppose a shepherd has many sheep, and in the darkness of night one sheep goes missing. The shepherd leaves all the others and goes searching for the lost one. When he finds it, he places it on his shoulders and brings it back joyfully. And that lost sheep becomes the most cherished of all. This too is a method of life. Even if you have lost your way, even if you have fallen, once you are found and uplifted, you can become greater than ever before. Life has a goal, and by walking on this path, a person can touch the great peak of success. The soul resides in the depths of your physical body. Through your determination, devotion, and love, you can expand it, and then you will realize who you truly are. And it will not take long, provided your determination is firm. Once, a man arranged a discourse in his house and invited a great saint, along with some of his friends. Shortly after the discourse began, an earthquake struck. Since his house was on the upper floor, everyone panicked. They all left the discourse and ran away. Even the host himself left. But the true Guru remained seated at his place. After 15 to 20 minutes, no one had returned, except the house owner. When he came back, he saw the Guru absorbed in the state of samadhi or ecstasy. He asked, "Were you not afraid?" The Guru replied in clear words, "What is there to fear? I had merged my witness, my soul, into the Supreme Soul. When my soul dissolved into the Supreme Soul, I was in complete samadhi or ecstasy. I had no awareness of my body, no awareness of my thoughts, no awareness of my mind. I was simply enjoying the bliss of divine love. Now that you have come, my meditation has been disturbed." When a person becomes so deeply united with his soul, no kind of fear remains. He knows who he truly is. With his witness, with his soul, becoming one with his inner seer, he can enter the highest state. When life develops to such a stage, then just by closing the eyes, his great energy, the Kundalini power, instantly rises from the root chakra, passes through all the centers, and merges with the Supreme. For such a person who dwells in the soul, there remains no fear in any circumstance. Wherever he wishes, with the light of his inner witness, he can travel, and he dwells in the state of bliss. This is the supreme state of life. To attain this, it is very essential to know, who am I? I am the soul. And to bathe in this soul, when you enter the deeper state of meditation, you will see the soul as clearly as you see your own face in a mirror. You will feel that this soul is within you, and it will only leave when your body is no longer capable of staying in this world. As Socrates explained through his own experiment, the soul departs only when the body is no longer worthy of holding it. The soul leaves the body only when it cannot reside in it any longer. First, it is your faith that seeks, and ultimately it is your soul that seeks, because the soul is none other than yourself. If you leave this body in full awareness, free of bondage and without any desire, then the soul dissolves into the Supreme Soul. And then you will not be reborn. This is the supreme state. First, understand the soul. The soul is like ghee hidden within milk. Similarly, in our physical form, in our inner emptiness, the soul is present. When we empty ourselves, when we become breathless, then the soul expands and we can experience it. It is possible to attain this supreme state if you have the power of determination and you truly wish to realize the soul in this life, through the grace of God, through the love of God. For only by the blessings of the divine can one reach this state, never by one's own effort alone. It is God's gift, and He bestows this gift only on those who have firm determination, purity, and this supreme goal in life. Otherwise, realization of the soul is impossible. All of this happens only through divine grace. Pray to the Lord that we may realize the soul and become fully aware of who we truly are. I am the soul. And once this realization dawns, then with great ease, we can climb this ladder and become one with the Supreme Soul. Thank you.